Ned Canty Opera Memphis, voted by 4 out of 5 dentists as the most innovative man in opera management today. I don't know, they chewing the trident? I don't know.
Dentists love opera.
Dentists love
That's
opera.
just the thing, it's the teeth and the singing
The
and the mouth and
smiling.
the whole, it's the whole thing.
Yeah, I can't tell you the numbers on the podiatrist, but we won't get into that. Yeah, but
They're more ballet.
There were
people more ballet.
Good.
Yeah.
How many years have you been in Memphis?
It'll be 15 in January.
How about that?
Yeah,
Right.
it's long, in all the best ways.
In all the best
Yeah,
ways.
it's very. I was just talking with someone the other day. I think my colleagues are. The average tenure of someone at a company of our budget level is 5 years.
Wow.
And but the difference is that none of those cities that those companies in are Memphis. So when it's Memphis you're living in and committing yourself to, it's different.
It is different.
Yeah.
Rudy Scheid said to me, the best thing I've ever done is bring Ned to Memphis. I said, yes, Rudy, you're exactly right.
Well, Rudy was also smart enough to say, so long as Ned's wife wants to be in Memphis, he'll be in Memphis.
Okay.
So he knew me from the drop.
Oh my gosh. Well, you look at Opera Memphis from 1956, doing great things.
Yeah.
And I remember going, Robert Driver was there, and then Michael, and we would go down to wherever, the Orpheum or wherever, and we would have 3 war horses a year, which was great.
Yeah.
And we have the Ned era where it goes like, let's do something different but fun. Let's do the standards, let's throw in something new.
Right.
Let's throw in an opera festival, let's have somebody underwrite a brand new opera that might be based on local stuff. And you've done all that, and you've even hosted the National Opera Conference.
That was a proud moment, but mainly because there are so many people who have never been to Memphis, and in Memphis we worry like, oh God, they all think terrible things. That's not the case.
Right.
Most people think mythic things, but they don't really get it. They don't really know until they're here.
Yeah.
And so getting the chance to host so many of my colleagues and then show off not just the city, but show off other colleagues on panels,
Sure.
Samson Mobashar from Stax Music Academy and Rachel Knox from Hyde and Eck from Hattie Lou, like all these folks who just not only showed that Memphis is awesome, but that the Memphis arts and culture scene is unique and special in ways that they can only be jealous of. Our mayor, who opened the thing, welcomed everybody, hit of the entire conference. Like, people are so jealous about our mayor.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a coup for a career. That's a resume piece for you guys. You and your company, you've got some great staff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Again, I'm the tallest, so I get the credit too much. But again, something like the conference, something like all of this could never happen without the staff, some of whom, like Sarah Squire or Sona Amariana, have been here longer than I have, as well as some of our local singers. Marcus King has been singing with us for 20 years, which is 5 years longer than I've been working at the company. And then we have some folks who've been with us 1.5 years, 2 years, and all of them are making the kind of effort that you need to host a national conference, but they're making it every day. So.
Well, the little time I spent with it, I just saw hearts and souls poured into it. Some very tired people that had worked a whole week and just gave and gave and gave. So it's awesome. Speaking of giving and giving and giving, we have 30, not 29, 30 days of opera coming up in September. How many years have you done that?
This is year 14. And that isn't counting. We did in April of 2020, after the theaters closed, we did a digital-only edition where we did things like karaoke bingo with Playhouse on the Square, just fun live things that we could do online when everybody just didn't know what the heck was going on. We did things like that. So we don't count that towards the official years, but it'll be year 14. We are just a couple of thousand people short of 500,000 people reached.
Wow.
So this will be the year. If it will probably happen sometime during the Central Gardens home tour, if not then during Cooper Young.
On your website, there's a listing of all the places. So if you live in Midtown or Eads or South Memphis or Raleigh, they're coming to your neighborhood. You can't get away from them. Don't try. Just give it in. Give it to the opera.
Email. I'm Ned at operamemphis.org. Email me and say, why aren't you coming to my neighborhood? And I'll have a good answer.
Well, the beauty of it is that you're giving a cutting of what opera is to people in their backyard, literally, that may not have ever seen it before, or not often, or not the past few years.
Or not live.
Or not
Almost
live.
every
Yeah.
American has experienced opera in commercials, movies, television shows, and we talk about the Bugs Bunny cartoons,
Right.
but it's not just that. I mean, it's Rugrats, it's SpongeBob, it's Adventure Time. It's X-Men '97 just had an opera, some opera in it recently. So so people are experiencing opera all the time. The difference is it's often it is the butt of a joke if it's in a commercial at least. But they've never heard the miracle that is a human being singing opera 5 feet away from them, which is, it's like watching Ja play basketball, or, just watching an athlete at the top of their game, watching a painter create.
Yeah.
It is a special thing. And 30 Days allows people to do that, to actually be right there when someone is making these sounds, which is so rare.
And they're 10, 15, 20 feet away from not an elderly lady with horns, but somebody that's probably 20-something years old.
Yes.
That is young
Yeah.
and is so into this and given their heart and soul.
I'm pretty sure that I weigh more than all three of our company artists put together. Certainly either two of them. Take two out of the three, definitely. The seesaw stays down if I'm on the other side.
But this is a young person's game, really.
It really is,
Yeah.
and especially there are some voice types, like there are some those basso profundos. Some of those voices don't develop until you're 40 and you've drunk enough bourbon and smoked enough cigars. But yeah, I mean a lot of the people that we have, and especially people doing 30 days, are emerging artists. They're people in their 20s, early 30s who are still exploring what their role is going to be in the field.
Yeah, I love it. The enthusiasm, the joy. They're happy to be there, and you can see it on the faces.
Yeah.
And that just kicks off this whole list. I hear America Singing. You got a couple pieces in there.
So we have two new operas that we co-commissioned with Chautauqua Opera, and with the semi-sesquicentennial, the 250th coming up, however you say it. With that coming up, we did want to do something that looks at what role has music played in how America tells its story. And as someone who is, who's the immigrant narrative of my family as an American story is central, it's foundational to who I am. And I was only 6 when we had the 200th.
Oh, yes.
So this time I want to really do something, because I'm not sure I'll be around for 300.
Oh,
we'll see. Maybe as an AI, I don't know. But we wanted to do something that really examined how has music told America's story, especially when we're talking about opera, because opera. A lot of the operas that we think of as opera are European. Now we've done a lot to change that. A lot of companies have done a lot to change that. But we're going to be looking at the role that opera and vocal music have played in telling the story of America, not just with these operas, one of which is about Amelia Earhart, one of which is about Thomas Edison, both great pieces. One is a romantic comedy, which, that is a rarity in opera, a very fun rarity. But we're also going to be matching it with pieces by folks like Irving Berlin, who, the famous quote that I found about him when we were researching this is, Irving Berlin has no place in American music. He is American music.
Love it.
So looking at the American songbook, and then also looking at people like Bessie Smith, people who not only told the American story, but made Memphis a mythical music city. Made Beale Street, Beale Street Mama helped cement the idea that Beale Street is a unique place on this earth, which it is.
It is.
And celebrating those musicians as well.
That's rich.
Yeah.
That could be a whole season, right?
Yeah, it really
is.
Yeah.
And then we go to lasers at the planetarium. A laser.
So it's funny. This is one of those real Memphis things. So
Laser Divas versus the Sky Pirates of Destiny. In case you missed that in the paper.
Yes. So this is something. This is a very Memphis story in that we were at a meeting of the Memphis Cultural Coalition, which is a great organization that brings together lots of different groups. And there was somebody from from Pink Palace there, from Mosh, and they were talking about they do a science of dance and a science of beauty.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I pitched to them, what if we did a science of voice? And we could talk about how is it that sometimes these tiny little people can create these sounds that you can hear over 40 instruments in a 4,000 seat house, right? How does that actually work? A little nerdy, but so am I. You know, it takes one to
It's a planetarium. Come on.
It is. So we were having this meeting where we were batting that around, and they mentioned these laser concerts that they do, and Unapologetic was doing one, our friends at Unapologetic. And, you know, I grew up in New York, and my brother would go to like Laser Floyd and Laser Zeppelin at the planetarium. And, you know, so when they brought it up, I was like, yeah, let's do a Laser Divas. And then that kind of offhand comment grew into this sort of fun idea where the audience is on an intergalactic cruise ship. Yes. On their way out to explore the galaxy, and the entertainment on that cruise ship is a cloned divas from throughout history.
Oh my!
And the great thing about the word diva is it can be Maria Callas or Kirsten Flagstad or Calvin Asperian. It can also be Gloria Gaynor or Mariah Carey, right? So we're exploring all of those things. We were actually just over there earlier today. So those divas, they begin the show, they start entertaining everyone. We're going to have video and lasers happening above the ceiling to match them. But then the ship gets boarded.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, so this cruise ship gets boarded by a group of bloodthirsty sky pirates,
Yes.
as happens sometimes.
Yes.
But they are not interested in pillaging.
Yeah.
They want to prove their vocal supremacy. So, as you can tell, it's deeply serious, very serious piece.
Yes.
But you know, it is, I think, one of those times when we always try to have at least one thing a year that is just about having a good time. There are so many people who worry, you know, opera isn't going to be for me, or it's going to be X, Y, or Z. There are so many negative preconceptions. But there's also just, you know, if you're going to spend 2 hours in a seat, you want to know what you're getting into, you know, all these things. So something like this is a nice short show with cool lasers to look at. Yeah, it's fun. And if you like what you're hearing, then maybe try something else. You know, take one step further down the road.
Absolutely.
And we're going to keep leaving this trail of breadcrumbs to try to say, try out, you know, what it is we do when we're doing opera on the main stage, when we're doing a fully produced opera with the Memphis Symphony in the pit, all of this, the whole thing. Yeah.
Which will happen in January.
Oh my gosh, it's almost like I knew our season before we started this, but that is a great example. I will say, before we get to that, we're doing the fourth or fifth year of with Casa Teatro and the Dixon. We do our Christmas Fiesta, which is going to be great. If you free event, great for families, lots to do at the Dixon in September. But in January, we are doing the Barber of Seville. And this, of course, is the one from Bugs Bunny cartoons, the Rabbit of Seville, that so many people learned the overture. You know, you know, all of that stuff. You know, you play this music and you can see Bugs Bunny. But part of the reason that worked, you know, opera in America used to be a part of pop culture. So the Marx Brothers, biggest screen stars of their time, they do the A Night at the Opera. That is not only a Marx Brothers movie, but is making fun of opera the way that you satirize something you love. The way that the Book of Mormon is those guys satirizing musicals, right? So it is beautiful in that way, but it assumes that the general public knows a little something about opera. And you know, I love pointing out to people, I just did this on the opera subreddit the other day, that for years, the #1 spokespeople for cigarettes on the back of Time magazine, or Life magazine, sorry, opera singers.
Really?
Yeah, and they would say, it coats the throat, it makes singing better. Yeah. They were wrong, obviously. They were wrong, kids, don't start flipping. It's not gonna make your voice better. But they had this status. And you know, this lasts right up to Beverly Sills being a regular guest host for Johnny Carson. So, you know, a great American opera singer who was famous enough that she could do that. And, you know, that kind of thing is rare now. And so, you know, we have this piece where it was being used in Bugs Bunny cartoons, it was being celebrated in Bugs Bunny cartoons because everybody knew it, so they could get some of the in jokes. And there are, if you watch the cartoon, there are some in jokes. But it also is just fun and entertaining. It actually features in 2 different Bugs Bunny cartoons because it's also in long-haired hair. A little pun there. But the guy singing Figaro, 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 right? The Figaro aria is from The Barber of Seville.
Right.
And so it is a great romantic comedy. It's one of my personal favorite operas. I've directed it in New Orleans. I've directed it in Colorado. I've directed it here. I've directed it in Philadelphia. I love this piece. I'm so excited to share it with our audience.
This is going to be so much fun. And a happier one than Pretty Little Room, which is a little dark.
Yeah.
But that's another sponsored piece that you were commissioned to do.
Yes. And it's interesting with opera, a lot of people are drawn to opera on the creative end, sometimes on the audience end, because opera is a place, it's an art form that still tells serious stories where the good guys don't always win, and it can tell a great romantic comedy story. It can tell lots of different types of stories. But opera does complexity and nuance really, really well. And this is a true crime opera.
Ripped from the headlines of Memphis.
Of Memphis.
Yeah.
Of 1892.
Right.
But still, they were in the headlines of this true story about these 2 young women, Alice Mitchell and Frida Ward, who fall in love at Miss Higby's School for Girls. They meet, they fall in love, they're going to run off together, and one of them is going to live as a man to support them, and their families find out and separate them. Right. One of them sort of starts moving on with her life, and the other gets more and more depressed and paranoid, and eventually stalks basically the other to the cobblestone landing that is still there on the riverfront, and slits her throat with her father's straight razor.
Oh my goodness.
And, so tragic, obviously, but, tragic in the way that Othello is tragic in the way that Carmen is tragic. This kind of story about obsession is something that opera has always dealt with and deals with pretty well. And, again, I'm not a big true crime narrative person, but many people in my life whom I love are, and watch the documentaries and the series about all of these things. And this is that kind of narrative. Now, it also is an exploration of, what is possible to forgive. If someone repents, if someone regrets, when is it possible to forgive them or choose not to? What those things are. So again, it's adult themes. Right. It's not crazy or explicit or anything, but it's adult themes, and it's a piece that is meant to stay with you. It's by 2 fabulous Memphis artists, Jerry Dye and Robert G. Patterson, who also is a wonderful musician in the Memphis Symphony. He wrote the music. He's actually the one who brought us the story and said, you should write an opera about this, or you should commission an opera about this. So we did.
Well, the trifecta of opera, in my opinion, you've got the wonderful instrumental music, the great vocal music, and the acting. Yeah. And they really are built together to move emotion. Yeah. When it's done correctly. And this is going to do it. I haven't not seen it, but I feel like you're onto something.
And it's only the second piece we will do at the Crosstown Theater. We did one there a few years back, but that place we are blessed in Memphis with a couple of venues that are really, really good for acoustic music. And Crosstown Theater is one that we haven't used nearly enough. So
we hope to see more.
We're doing 2, possibly even 3 events here this year.
Fantastic.
At Crosstown. So we're very excited about that.
Well, I'm excited to see Jamie Barton. Now, she did the Julia Child thing 10 years ago? 8?
20. Around that time, she also did the Mikado with us.
And it was so brilliant. She's cooking and singing, and you, being the good promoter that you are, when we were over in the lobby, we had cupcakes.
Yes. So, Jamie Barton is someone...
she's gone on to
it's amazing we were able to get her for a 10-day residency. Yeah. Jamie is someone I first met in 2007. I was directing the Mikado at Opera Theater of St. Louis, and she was a young artist there. She was understudying Kadisha, and I went to they do these promotional events where they'll do a little bit of music, they'll have somebody talk about what you're going to sing. And I always do those. I always try to help my colleagues, so I was doing it. But the singers had the night off, and it was their understudies were performing the bits. And they performed these bits, and they did jokes that were better than the jokes that I had the main cast doing. And so afterwards I said to Jamie, like, I just have to tell you, those are better than my jokes, and I don't know how to feel about that. And it turned into a friendship. When I got this job, she was one of the people I reached out to and said, what do you really want to do? Like, what are you looking to do? And Bon Appetit was on that list. Since then, she's won the Singer of the World competition at Cardiff. She has closed out the BBC Proms, which is kind of the biggest classical music event in the world. I mean, it is, you really don't get any bigger than that. And, Carnegie, her singing at Carnegie Hall is like a weekday, right? Like, she's done incredible things. Her voice is a once-in-a-generation voice, and that's not me saying that. That's Opera Magazine saying that. That's the New York Times saying that. This is one of those instances where we were able to find a little niche in her calendar, between the Paris Opera and the Met and all of the places she sings. We found this slot, and she is going to be with us for 10 days. She's going to sing in the Verdi Requiem with the symphony.
Oh,
she's one of the four. And she's the first thing she does is this recital. And that's going to be her and our Handorf Company artists. And that's going to be a variety of music. It's going to be a much more intimate kind of affair, but it is an opportunity to hear one of the greatest operatic voices of our time.
Boy, that's got to sell in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's also something that, it's the first time that we've ever started working on advertising in Nashville, St. Louis, Little Rock, Jackson, because opera fans are going to want to see her. I mean, people who go to the Med HD broadcasts have seen her in multiple things over the past several years. It's seeing her live in person is a rare opportunity.
What a treat.
Yeah,
and
so I'm very excited. And then she's doing the Verdi right after that, with a cast of killers. I mean, with a really fabulous cast. Which the Verdi Requiem is, it's not a marathon; it's a triathlon. Like, this is something that vocally you need the 7 blocks of granite kind of cast. That's what we put together with the symphony, and we're thrilled about that. She also is going to be working with our company artists. She is going to be doing a master class that is not open to the public unless you're a subscriber.
There you go.
But subscribers can get in, and she's going to be working with our company artists and some students at the Rudy Shade School of Music. Which again is, I promised Rudy and Honey that we would do everything we could to bring that level of talent. Not that the teachers at Ressam are already fabulous, but when we have somebody like Jamie here who is a generational talent, we try to make sure that we share her with our colleagues.
I'm thrilled. I've not seen the Verdi Requiem live, so I'm just thrilled about that in itself. And she's a big bonus. And speaking of slitting throats, Sweeney Todd.
Yes,
it's a bit of a throwback.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm a big Sondheim fan. I think seeing the original cast of Into the Woods is one of my all-time favorite memories. Sweeney Todd, I've actually only seen a couple of times live. But Sweeney Todd, interestingly enough, it's a musical, written, marketed as a musical, but for more than a decade, more opera companies have done it than theater companies, because it requires a lot of forces. It's extraordinarily difficult, even for the opera companies that do it. And it is on a list, a short list, that Michael Detroit and Whitney Joe at Playhouse on the Square, we kind of pass back and forth. There are some pieces that would make sense for either company to do, and there are some pieces that only make sense if we do them together. And this, I think, is one of those pieces that either one of us could do it, but by doing it together, by working on it together, we are able to not just make it twice as good, but make it 4 times as good, right? Like, we're able to amplify each other, fill in each other's gaps, and really just do something, in this kind of collaboration, this is at the core of so much of the Memphis arts and culture scene in a way that it isn't in other cities that I've lived and worked in. So this is something that we've just been talking about for years and is finally happening, and I could not be more excited.
Well, you should be. That's the most variety of an opera season I've ever seen in my life, truly. And I think a lot of people can say that. I think it's brilliant. Collaborative, you're working with theater group, planetariums, and everything in between. And I'm guessing season tickets are on sale now, is that correct?
Season tickets are on sale now. Individual tickets will go on sale soon, but again, there are some things with the season tickets that you can't get otherwise, including this Jamie Burton masterclass. And again, this is something that we wanted. Where we're going to be doing it is pretty small. We don't want it to become a spectacle. We want it to still be useful for the young singers. So it's very limited, and I would encourage anyone who's interested. And there are people who maybe already subscribe to the MSO. We have kind of carve-outs, right? So you can get a subscription that is everything. If you already have that through the MSO, you can subscribe to everything else and it will cost you the same amount of money. So we have that sort of thing worked out. With Playhouse, of course, they do so much in a year. They do so many shows that their subscriptions, you can use them however you like. So it's not as much of an issue there.
OperaMemphis.org. Is there a general phone number? Or do you know?
There is. I never use it.
Probably on the website. Go to the website.
257-3100. I don't know where I pulled that from. 901-257-3100.
If it's not Opera Memphis, it'll be somebody nice.
Yes.
So there you go. Sign up today. The season, you'll have the single ticket soon, but if you go ahead and get the season ticket, you're going to get good seats and all the fun stuff. The most innovative man in opera today by podiatrists, dentists, physicians, voodoo practitioners who we love, and especially by music fans in the city who are blessed to have you. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.